Jane King at the NASDAQ. How about some burgers and roller coasters? Both of those in the small cap spotlight today.
I'm Patricia Wu at the NASDAQ. Can you imagine a world without ever being put on hold? I'll talk to the CEO of a company that's trying to make that a reality.
I'm Remy Blair in San Francisco. Amid the consolidation in healthcare, two names are taking center stage, and a hydrogen fuel cell maker is powering ahead of the pack.
Hello and welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. Burger chain Sonic's fourth quarter profit rose on strong sales, marking the fifth consecutive year of higher sales at existing locations. Now, the company's chief executive says customer service is one thing that is helping boost its profits. Sonic revolutionized the ordering process by installing curbside speakers that allow customers to place orders without leaving their cars, spawning the slogan, "Service at the Speed of Sound." Well, more people are visiting Six Flags theme parks over the summer, and that boosted profits by 50%. Six Flags, which just exited bankruptcy in 2010, was hurt by a heavy debt load and declining attendance during the recession, but its revenue has mostly grown over the past few years as attendance and ticket sales have generally improved. Well, there were lots of small cap banks turning in their quarterly report cards today, and here's a rundown. Zions Bank says profit rose, but energy companies are having trouble making payments. First Cast Financial's earnings missed estimates. Sunnovis met its profit forecast. Union Bank shares third quarter profit rose, and S&T Bank's results were steady compared to last year. Well, Amaya says it will limit its daily fantasy sports operations to states with favorable existing guidance, which it identified as New Jersey, Massachusetts, Kansas, and Maryland. Amaya operates the Stars Draft site, which, according to Legal Sports Report, is the number 5 operator in fantasy sports betting. It's behind DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, and Fantasy Draft. Nevada last week put a halt to daily fantasy sports, and other states are considering such a move, in part due to allegations of unfair trading practices, as well as ambiguity in federal law that allows such activity. Now, when you think of Sears, you probably don't think of the latest and greatest technology. The big box store is best known for its large appliances and clothing, not cutting-edge electronics. But that may change with its surprise acquisition of a recent smart home product. Twice reports that Sears Holdings, the parent company of Sears, has acquired the technology behind Wally Home, a smart sensor system that detects humidity, moisture, and temperature in the home. They will together work on products for Sears' connected home line. And a setback for Neos Therapeutics' ADHD drug. The FDA said it identified deficiencies in the drug called Cotempla. The FDA did not, however, say what the deficiencies were. The FDA was expected to make a decision on the drug by November 9th. And Flex Steel Industries reported fiscal fourth quarter earnings of $5.8 million. The Dubuque, Iowa-based company said it had net income of 74 cents per share. The furniture maker posted revenue of $126 million in the period. Flex Steel shares have climbed about 4% since the beginning of the year. And finally, a slew of analysts out with comments and ratings in the small cap space today. Atwood Oceanics rated sector perform at RBC Capital. Callan Petra was rated a new buy at Canaccord Genuity. Cooper Tire rated new hold, also at Canaccord Genuity. Cubic was rated a new buy at BB&T Capital. Dorman Products rated new hold at Jefferies. Monroe Muffler rates a buy at Stern AG. Parsley Energy rated a buy at Canaccord Genuity. Sonus Networks a new hold at Drexel Hamilton. And Standard Motor got a new buy rating at Jefferies. Patricia Wu is talking to executives from LivePerson about 20 years in mobile messaging. It's a big week for LivePerson. The company celebrates its 20th anniversary by ringing the opening bell here at the NASDAQ and unveils its vision for the future of mobile messaging.
Jane, it's quite a vision. Imagine a world without 1-800 numbers, a world without ever being put on hold. CEO and founder of LivePerson, Robert LoCascio, joins me now to tell us more. How does this work, and how is it different from online chat?
So basically, we pioneered online chat back in 1997, and we have 18,000 customers and all that, but this differs quite considerably. If you think about using WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, what if you could do that with a brand? What if you didn't have to pick up the phone anymore and make a phone call, sit on hold, press 1, 2, or 3, but you get a message to brand and say, look, I need to change something with my credit card. and they're like, oh, I'll get back to you. Or you're like, I'm about to go into a meeting, get back to me in an hour. So it's going to allow the flexibility and ease for a consumer to get their time back and really be connected to the brands at all times. Today, there's 260 billion 1-800 phone calls made a year. It's about $1.6 trillion spent on something that we hate. So we're looking to really change that.
That's pretty cool. So I could be untethered. I can just message them and then go about my business and they'll get back to me.
Exactly. And when you think about our behavior as consumers, there was a study that just came out and talked about the top uses of a mobile device. Number 1 and 2 are basically messaging. Number 3 is using for taking pictures, Facebook. Number 5 is using it as an alarm clock. And number 6 is phone. So our behavior changed as consumers, and now it's time for the brands to align with that and really connect with us in a different way.
So say I message my cable company, will my whole chat history come up?
Yes, your history, what you did in the past. Even if you want to, let's say, change your address, instead of calling and going through all that, it could just be easy as, here, change my address. So no longer do you have to do all those things that take your time away from you. It's once again, the hold is the pain point for us. We waste like years of our lives on hold, and we're really looking to change that through doing the messaging.
That is very cool. I like that. When is it available? I know you're unveiling this vision this week, but when do we actually get to use this?
So we have our customer conference. We're launching it actually tomorrow on our platform, and so it'll be available to all of our 18,000 customers starting tomorrow. So we have some of the biggest brands, the biggest telcos, biggest banks, retailers, so you should see it as a consumer shortly. You should be able to just message a brand instead of ever picking up and calling again.
Very cool. But where are your competitors in this? I mean, do you have proprietary technology? Is there a barrier to entry? I mean, say WhatsApp says, hey, that's pretty cool. We're going to do that too.
Yeah, so the real key is that the front end, the messenger is quite easy. It's the back end that the brand has to log in. Let's say that the brand has 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 3,000 people behind that answering those interactions. That's where our technology has proprietary. It scales, it's got to be secure. If you're messaging on WhatsApp today to your friends, it's not secure. But if you message to a brand, they have to be able to take credit card information, all of that, and that's what we allow, is the scalability and security.
So right now you have a market cap of $468 million. What do you see this doing for your growth?
When I look at the big pieces of the internet and how it grew, and I've been in the business since '95, we had search, obviously, and Google dominated that, and then we sort of went to social, and now obviously Facebook dominated that. I think the next big space is really the connection between myself and a business. And that space, I think, is going to be as big as social, as big as search. And I can see it because when you're dealing with 260 billion calls a year that are taking place, and it's a $1.6 trillion industry, if all that shifted to digital, to messaging, all that is going to move to the market. So it's a $1 trillion market. So that's what we look at today. So I think it's going to change the company.
A lot of growth potential there.
Yes.
So you have been in this business since 1995. You're still at the helm of the company you started.
Yes.
20 years in, what's the #1 lesson you've learned?
Never quit. You know, when I was standing here in 2000 opening the market, everything here was red and the market was collapsing, and we survived, and most companies don't survive through tough times, and we did. And for that, we got the spoils for it. We're the leader in what we do. We have 1,200 employees today, and we're all 18,000 customers. So when you look at that, you can't quit. Even in the hardest days, the darkest days, there's something great on the other side. So that's why I tell entrepreneurs, stay with it, hold on, don't quit, and see what's on the other side.
Words to live by. Now, you went public in April of 2000, the last internet IPO. When you look at the valuations then and the valuations now, what goes through your mind? And are entrepreneurs giving up something in exchange for that crazy money?
I think it's a mistake what entrepreneurs are doing. I raised $40 million privately and $30 million on the public markets. Microsoft raised, I think, 20 or 30 million when they went public. They're raising billions of dollars, the entrepreneurs, and they're getting diluted. So they're owning very little of their company. When I went public, I owned 20% of LivePerson. And so I own 10% of it today, even after 20 years. So they end up owning nothing. They're hoping to get the big win, right, and have multi-billion-dollar valuations. But if that doesn't work out, the entrepreneur really loses control of the company. And so I don't know why you have to raise $1 billion to make a market when companies like Microsoft and myself and other companies didn't raise that. So I think there's just something happening that I believe will stop shortly. I also believe that it's going to be hard for those companies to go public and get an exit for their shareholders, because those valuations won't be supported by public shareholders. So I think there's a dynamic that will probably change pretty shortly.
And actually that brings me to the question of pricing for this mobile messaging, this future world without hold.
Yeah.
How much does it cost? Do I as a consumer have to pay, or do the businesses pay, and how much?
So the businesses pay on a pure interaction basis. So every time a consumer is messaging, they'll pay for that message. It could be 10 cents, it could be 60 cents, it could be $1, depending on volume. So basically it's all burdened by the brand. The brand basically pays for the software, and the consumers get it for free.
All right, I like it as a consumer. Thank you so much. So wonderful to meet you and have you here. I'm looking forward to this world without hold.
Fantastic, so am I.
Jane, Robert also told me that last year, customers spent 3.6 billion minutes on hold. That's the equivalent of 86 lifetimes. Imagine all the things you could knock off your to-do list.
Wow, Patricia, that has got to be frustrating for customers. Thank you very much for that.
Straight ahead, we head to San Francisco. Two healthcare companies making news that investors will want to know about, and a big mover in the fuel cell game. Remy Blair has the details when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So Hat-Trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Two names in healthcare are getting intensive care from Wall Street. What's behind today's move in AmSurg and Team Health?
AmSurg and Team Health are in the spotlight this morning. Shares of AmSurg opened lower on Tuesday, while Team Health saw a double-digit percentage gain. Now, AmSurg is an outsourcing company for physician services. It offered to buy its rival Team Health Holdings for $71.47 per share in a cash and stock deal. Now, AmSurg wants to combine the two companies and boost its business. The bid is worth $7.8 billion, and this is the second bid to win over Team Health. The company privately approached Team Health at the end of the summer, but was rebuffed. Now, apparently, Knoxville, Tennessee-based Team Health had its hands full overseeing its recent acquisition of hospitalist company IPC. Team Health scooped up IPC Healthcare for $1.4 billion back in August.
Well, if the deal took place, what would this mean for the healthcare industry?
Jane, we're seeing consolidation across the healthcare system. Insurers, hospital chains, as well as service providers are consolidating across the country. A deal between AmSurg and Team Health would mean a combined network of over 1,000 healthcare facilities and over 20,000 clinicians. AmSurg assists in running clinics and surgery centers. It also works with physician practices. If the two teamed up, the combined company would become a leading provider of medical staff. AmSurg says the deal would create $200 to $290 million in overlapping cost savings.
How is AmSurg's rebuffed offer for Team Health affecting market action in the rest of the sector, Remy?
Well, if we look at the healthcare sector in the U.S. on this Tuesday, we are seeing a slight downside, but for the year it is higher. On the session, there is mixed trading amid healthcare industries, with pharmaceuticals down by about 1% and healthcare facilities up by about half a percentage point. Now, within the individual names, it is Team Health that is the biggest gainer of the session in healthcare.
Up next, we take you to Paris, where we are breaking down the London Stock Exchange AIM. From fashion to bio to theme parks, it's a small cap market investors may want to think about across the pond when Small Cap Nation returns.
Good. Very good. You see something moving off the shelves, and your first thought is to investigate the company. You are Type E. Yes, investment opportunities can be anywhere. Or not. But you know the difference.
E-Trade's barcode scanner. Shorten the distance between intuition and action. E-Trade. Opportunity is...
Before they sat down, one more time, just for themselves. Before the last grandchild graced the stage. Before Katie and her husband hit that rough patch. Before Kevin finally came home and the first grandchild arrived. Before the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, and Brad's brief brush with the law. Before the second British invasion. Before Katie, Debbie, Kevin, and Brad. Before they became a family. There was a connection that started it all and made the future the wonderful thing it turned out to be. We know we're not the center of your life, but we'll do our best to help you connect to what is.
Sometimes the present looked bright, sometimes romantic. There were tears in my eyes, and tears in my eyes. And so many little things that we learned were really the biggest things. Through it all, we saved and had a retirement plan, and someone who listened and helped us along the way. Because we always knew that someday the future would be the present.
Every someday needs a plan. Talk with us about your retirement today.
As we continue our look at global markets, Graham Brown is in Paris with the latest from Europe.
Thank you, Jane. What is not always understood about the LSE AIM is that not only the number of market segments that are represented, but also the range of countries in which the companies quoted on the AIM are present. Some 50% of the companies represented on the AIM are UK domiciled, but are operating completely in foreign markets. Here are a few examples, just to get a feel based on recent news announcements. China New Energy climbs on Zimbabwe bioethanol deal. So shares in China New Energy were sent up as it is poised to join a 120 million litre cassava to bioethanol plant in Zimbabwe with its regional partner Sunbird Bioenergy. Sunbird, which is CNE's sub-Saharan focused biofuel partner, signed an agreement with the Republic of Zimbabwe to develop a bioethanol point in the country's Mashonaland central province. CNE, which was floated in May 2011, said it will be designing the plant, the equipment, installation and providing ongoing support services, and that the plant will be designed using the company's proprietary cassava to ethanol technology. that has been commissioned and is now fully in operation in Thailand. And Sunbird and CNE think the design and implementation will be ready for financial closure of the project first quarter 2016, with the project itself coming on stream in late 2017. And for something completely different, Galaxis wins Chinese theme park contracts. Galaxis, again an AIM-listed theme park solutions provider, has won 2 new contracts in China worth £500,000. It struck a deal with the travel control company, supplying its ticketing platform and membership module for Mount Yangdang, I hope I got that right, in Zhejiang, as well as a year of after-sales service. The mountain has over 500 scenic spots, 8 scenic zones, and became a member of the Global Geoparks network supported by UNESCO. The second deal is with the aerospace theme park in China, again e-ticketing, membership modules, etc. And the park has 30 attractions and is the world's second largest theme park. And finally, Cruise, a company that's just taken an injection of capital. Although it looks like a UK sales-based operation, it is actually operating only in India. The Cruise Group operates a wholesale business supplying branded fashion products for sale exclusively on the Cruise.com website in India, with the aim over the next 5 years to help build that into India's one-stop digital fashion website by providing products from international brands, as well as designing its own fashion products under the Cruise label. They believe they can build their own label, back that with bringing strong international brands, extend their fashion credibility and credentials into that market, and combine that with good technology and delivery and price promises. So this just illustrates the attraction of London AIM, a low risk, well regulated small cap market that is the most liquid in Europe and is capable of attracting a wide range of business segments and trading locations. But you're still using sterling, a stable currency, so offering a wide range of overseas investment opportunities to interested investors.
Well, Graham, what are we looking at in the small cap world in Europe today?
All markets have been falling back so far today, and it looks like most of the European markets will get back to the close at the end of last week's sort of levels by the end of the afternoon. So up and down again. On the data side, business confidence among French manufacturers, as reported by the NASDAQ, actually increased to 104 in September, beating market expectations and reaching the highest level in fact since July 2011. Personal production outlook rose and the most recent assessment of production outlook improved, but order books were slightly weaker still. On the currency markets, the euro is continuing to hold its strength against the dollar and the pound, regardless of the ECB's desire. Something's going to have to give there. And Eurozone inflation is in focus as the ECB is still facing fresh calls for stimulus with its Thursday meeting and with more economic data points coming out at the end of the week. It has just been announced that German exports fell in August and imports were also down sharply. Data from the Federal Statistics Office showed seasonally adjusted exports fell by 5.2% and imports fell by 3.1%. However, we do need to be a little cautious about interpreting this data. Recently there was a sort of shock horror at the news that European production had dropped by 0.5% in July and August. Well, surprise. Think about the fact that most European workers, especially the German and the French, take 3 to 4 weeks, yes that's 3 to 4 weeks, of their 8+ holiday entitlement in July and August. I am surprised that it did not drop further.
Have you heard of Plug Power? If not, you may want to. this company is making news by helping power America's big companies. The story when Small Cap Nation returns.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together, we can help you prepare financially for when 2 becomes 3. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward.
Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories.
It's going to allow this business to go to the next level.
Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
Remy Blair is in San Francisco with the latest on small cap news out of Silicon Valley.
Plug Power is having its moment in the sun. Shares of the NASDAQ listed company popped after a pre-release of its third quarter results. On Monday, Plug Power stated that its third quarter revenue topped $30 million. Now that is the second consecutive quarter of record revenue. The company also reiterated its 2015 revenue target, and it forecasts total sales of over $100 million. According to the company, it expects to construct over 25 Gen Fuel hydrogen storage and dispensing infrastructures. It also expects to sell over 3,300 Gen Dry fuel cell units.
Thanks for joining us on Small Cap Nation. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.